İzmir'den, Ege Üniversitesi Bornova kampüsünden herkese sevgiler. Bas Pedala Bisikletli Yaşam rehberine hoş geldiniz. Ege Üniversitesi Televizyonu için hazırladığımız programımızda dünyanın yaşanabilir kentlerini ziyaret ediyoruz ve buralardaki bisikletli yaşam hikayelerini ekrana taşıyoruz. Bu bölümde dünyanın bisiklet başkentlerinden Amsterdam'dayız. Birbirinden güzel röportajlarla ve konuklarımızla Hollanda'nın bisiklet tarihine kısa bir giriş yapacağız. Şimdi gelin bu bölümde neler izleyeceğimize bir göz atalım. Bas Pedala başlıyor. İlk konuğumuz Henry. Kendisi Amerikalı bir mühendis ve Silikon Vadisi'nden Amsterdam'a uzanan hikayesini bizimle paylaşacak. Ardından konuğumuz Mark olacak. Mark, Amsterdam'ın bisikletli yaşam kültürünü dünya ile paylaşan bir blogger olarak kentin ulaşım kültürü hakkında bize çok faydalı bilgiler verecek. Ve son olarak rehberimiz Mario'ya kulak vereceğiz. Amsterdam'ın bisikletli yaşam tarihçesini öğrenip hep birlikte kentin otomobil işgalinden kurtuluşunu kutlayacağız. Bisiklet kullanma isteğimiz, yaşadığımız kentteki bisiklet kullanan insan sayısı ile doğru orantılıdır. Yani etrafımızda ne kadar fazla insan bisiklet kullanıyorsa, bizim de bisiklet sürme motivasyonumuz o derece yüksek olur. Şimdi bu duruma çok iyi örnek olacak birini ekrana getiriyoruz. Henry.
Okay. So, actually, I'm an American. I grew up in New York and was living in California, working in Silicon Valley with Philips. And I was a product designer working on all kinds of products. And it was extremely boring. But I fell in love with the cycling culture here. And so I left Philips and I started a bike company.
Henry, çalıştığı şirket tarafından iş için gönderildiği Amsterdam'da herkesin bisiklet kullanıyor olmasından çok etkilenmiş. Buraya yerleşip kendi markası ile bisiklet üretmeye başlamış. Amsterdam'da 2 mağazası var.
We have thousands of families as customers, but also businesses who buy our bikes. And yeah, we just build really good bikes and have good service, so people come. Well, I always loved bikes, but I fell in love with the cycling, the Dutch style. Riding around through the city in the evening with my girlfriend on the rear carrier and just going everywhere on my bike. Carrying my stuff by bike and doing my groceries by bike. I can think of many favorite cycling moments in the city, but I think in the past few years, most of my favorite cycling moments have been with my kids. There's those first few months of riding with a child between your arms that are just wonderful, and a child pointing things out and chatting, going, "Papa, Papa, Papa, look over there, fire engine," and things like that. And yeah, a Dutch child grows up between Mama and Papa's arms. It's fantastic, you know, so they see the whole world from the same perspective as you. They're almost at your eye level as they travel through the city.
Henry'nin son söylediklerine yakından bakalım. Hollanda'da çocuklar anne babalarının kolları arasında büyür demişti. Bu sadece bir mecaz değil. Hollanda'da çocuklar gerçekten de küçük yaştan itibaren anne babalarının kolları arasında bisikletli yaşamla tanışıyor. İlerleyen bölümlerde buna ve Hollanda'daki bisiklet eğitimine değineceğiz. Ama şimdi sizi Hollanda'daki bisikletli yaşamı tüm dünyaya en iyi anlatan kişilerden biriyle tanıştırmak istiyoruz. Bir fotoğrafçı ve bir blog yazarı olan Mark.
Hello everyone. Am I in the frame?
Yeah.
Is it all okay?
Yeah.
That's good. Hello Istanbul, hello Turkey, hello the world. I'm happy to host you. Welcome to Amsterdam, the bicycle capital of the world.
Amsterdam'daki bisikletli yaşam çalışmamıza bunu tüm dünyaya gönüllü olarak anlatan biriyle başlıyoruz. Mark bir fotoğrafçı, blog yazarı ve gönüllü bir bisikletli yaşam temsilcisi.
Well, Amsterdam, I started out as a sort of a hobby for photography and video, and I put that online and a lot of people from around the world responded really well to it. So I started doing more and more, just opening a window to the rest of the world of what the bicycle culture, as you would call it, looks like, and what it really, you know, what the background is and how people enjoy it or not. But basically a positive storytelling project, exporting the Dutch model and helping out others to make bicycle-friendly cities. As you can see here, all people can safely cycle here. Here we go, families to work.
Marka göre bizim bisiklet kültürü dediğimiz şey Hollanda'da sıradanlığın ta kendisi.
Now, the definition of culture, of bike culture abroad, is that it's by definition a minority. That's why it's a small community or a small sense of community. Here, everybody cycles basically. So we don't see it as a cultural thing. Yeah, we know it's part of our culture, but we don't talk about it like bike culture abroad, like they do abroad. So that's the main difference. Here we go.
Mark'ın son söylediklerini toparlayacak olursak, Hollandalılar için bisiklet kullanmak son derece gündelik ve sıradan bir aktivite. Onlar bunun üzerine çok da düşünmüyor. Bize oldukça ilgi çekici gelen bu kültür, Hollandalılar için şehirde herkesin ayakkabı giymesi kadar sıradan. Şimdilik Mark ile pedallamaya kısa bir ara veriyoruz. Amsterdam'daki bisiklet kültürünün ortaya çıkışı hakkında bizi bilgilendirecek olan Marjolein ile buluşuyoruz. Marjolein, Hollanda Bisiklet Konsolosluğu'nda çalışıyor. Hollanda Bisiklet Konsolosluğu, parlamento ve yerel yönetimlerle birlikte projeler üreten bir sivil toplum kuruluşu. Marjolein, Amsterdam'daki bisikletli yaşamın başlangıcı hakkında bizi oldukça bilgilendiriyor.
Okay, from the 1950s, the Netherlands got more and more rich, and they got more cars, and this you could see in the streets of the cities, because the streets got full with cars. This was becoming more and more of a problem, because the streets in the city were not built for cars. The streets were quite narrow, so you don't have the place for all the cars to park, and you don't have the place for all the cars on the street. You got traffic jams, you got congestion, you got noise of the cars, pollution of the cars, and one thing that was very important was you got a lot of road unsafety with the cars. And in the 1970s, people were more and more fed up with the problems.
The 1970s, oil crisis, dollar crisis, environmental crisis, turmoil in the world and in the Netherlands, car-centric policies result in congestion, a hostile traffic environment, and cycling is further put on the defense. But Dutch citizens rise to the occasion, organize themselves, and collectively and loudly say, enough is enough.
And there were basically two sides of it. One side that said we need to make bigger streets, wider streets, to make more place for the cars, and then you can get more flow, you get less congestion, and you can make more safety. The other ones were saying, no, we don't want to make these big streets because you get even more cars, and where will you leave them? And also, to make these big streets in a city like Amsterdam, you need to break down houses, and that is or you have to fill in canals, and both were a problem.
It is mainly, you know, the Netherlands or Amsterdam, they went down the same road after the Second World War as any other country. The car became a popular and achievable thing for many people. So cities and the whole countries had to make way for the cars. So they built infrastructure for the cars. And basically a person on a bike was seen as old-fashioned. And so up until the 70s, we went down the same road as London or New York or anywhere else. So bikes were marginalized, and a lot of people got killed in traffic.
But there was a traffic plan which was started in 1935, which has the idea of a lot of big streets for the cars connected with an inner city ring for the cars, a 6-lane street for the cars. In 1974, they discussed in the city council about this plan for making the inner city ring for the cars, 6-lane street for the cars. And one part said we need to make this ring, and the other part said we don't want it because it only brings us more cars and more unsafety. It was discussed in the city council, and the vote was there, and 23 were against the plan and 22 were in favor of the plan. So this was, the plan was abandoned, but it was a very close call.
And a lot of people have forgotten the history of how we had to fight back to reclaim the streets and make cycling one of the main priorities again.
Cities which have still growing numbers of cars, they have difficulties, and I think that may be happening in Turkey. And it's understandable that they want to have cars as well, but it would be a pity to have all the cities taken over by cars. So it's important to, as citizens of the cities, citizens of the country, to not get all the space taken away by the cars, because that's not good for cities.
Bas Pedala'da bu bölümün sonuna geldik. İlerleyen bölümlerde Hollanda'ya yine gideceğiz. Ancak şimdi sırada Danimarka ve Fransa var. Önümüzdeki bölümde önce Kopenhag'a, ardından Paris'e konuk olacağız. Ve buralardaki bisiklet dostu kullanıcıların hikayelerini dinleyeceğiz. Bir sonraki bölüme kadar herkese bol pedallı günler. Bas Pedala bitti.